Thank you, WCN, for this opportunity. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Sanskrit Paulin, computer engineering student at Kathmandu University, and will be presenting our project, Project Cubes. The acronym CUBES stand for Composting, Understanding Behavior, and Electing Steps. And interestingly, just like in CUBE, we are 6 different people who came from varied fields and now share a common goal. This work is a part of ongoing regional tech camp by US Embassy Kathmandu and Kathmandu Living Labs. Waste management is a global challenge. Poorly managed waste affects the environment and human health. Our reports show that 80% of Nepalese municipalities prefer open dumping and suggested that if we compost, recycle, and reuse the waste, only 10% of the waste will end up in landfill sites. If we look at Kathmandu, we produce 500 metric ton of waste every day, and 70% of which is organic. This project was initiated during COVID-19 lockdown when there were interruptions on waste collection, with frontline waste collectors contracting the virus and even the government asking the residents to manage their own waste. We have been working at how we can sustainably take care of our kitchen waste specifically. Now, talking about the objective of our project, our first objective is to understand the urban composting behavior, and our second objective is to conduct experimental research on tech-guided composting. We have a final goal of achieving a user-friendly composting experience. Everyone must be wondering why we need this survey. According to a study, only 30% of Nepalese households have been found to composting. During our initial literature reviews, we found there is scarcity of research from behavioral perspective to solid waste management in Nepalese context. We want to know why, despite having knowledge and understanding, people aren't composting enough. We are trying to understand the behavioral component on what motivates household to compost, stop them from continuing to compost, or completely refrain them from composting. We have conducted through an online survey in Kathmandu. We have also planned to interview experts from solid waste management from their various fields like policymaking, academics, and NGOs to have a wider perspective on composting. We feel that although people are composting, they don't feel rewarded enough. So we want so we want to research and experiment with technology. We want to know how the instant gratification received through mobile application or integrated hardware could encourage the new and existing composting users. We have distributed 36 online questions to residents of Kathmandu under mainly 4 domains: particulars of the household, their perspectives towards the organic waste, composting, and finally about the use of technology in composting. We have received 310 responses in 10 days. Majority, majority of the participants were female, student, employed, and came from educational background and own houses in Kathmandu. 56% of the respondents are actively composting and prefer bin composting. We found there is a knowledge action gap where despite being aware and educated regarding the problem, they are still hesitant about the composting. Of those who weren't composting told about the lack of prior experience and space and time. The major finding were significant number of them have started composting during and after the lockdown. Areas with irregular waste collection favors composting practice, and most of the participants are optimistic regarding the tech-guided composting system. To gain more knowledge regarding the solid waste management and composting, we consulted with few speakers. Our first speaker was Sanumaya Maharjan from Kathmandu Metropolitan City. She mentioned that availability and access to subsidized compost bin can motivate and help motivated people to compost. Around 3,500 compost bins were bought by locals during the lockdown for home composting. And our second speaker was engineer Pradeep Amatya from Lalitpur Metropolitan City. From his 14 years of experience in field of municipal solid waste management, he confidently said that areas with irregular waste collection favor composting and share the success of women groups who were composting. Our third speaker was Dr. Navaraj Khatiwada from Nepal Development Research Institute. He focused on behavior change and what could motivate people to compost. And also he talked about the research gap on composting, where university can be a tool to fulfill the gap. Likewise, the fourth and final speaker was Monorom. She was from a compost city in Cambodia. She shared about her startup journey and challenges on the way. With her experience in composting, she said that selling compost kits along with the guides and online support was most preferred by foreigners than locals. So here is a short video of the bin that we are making. Let's have a look. This is a motion sensor bin. Once you go near to the bin, it opens itself and keep opening, allows you to drop some kitchen waste. So when you go far from the bin, it will take some seconds to close so that your hands won't get trapped, and also for a sanitary purpose. And again, we have a second video of our mobile application we are building. Let's have a look. As you just saw in the bin earlier, the information provided by different sensors will be shown in the application like this. We have also planned to make our app more interactive and engaging by giving them rewards and recognition so the people can get motivated. Since our objective is to understand the people's behavior and motivate people in composting, we try to learn the possible features that can be included in the application to make it more engaging from our expert and survey itself. So we have added a section in the application, which is frequently asked questions and answers relating to composting, which allows the users to find answer to their question in one place and saving their time, resources, and grit. In coming days, we are planning to add a feature where people can motivate each other by sharing the journey of composting through messages and pictures. So moving forward, now we are working on the initial understanding of composting behavior, and composting behavior could be reflected on the proposed smart composting system and more necessarily their interaction in our day-to-day life. From this platform, we are equally looking for collaboration and support from academia, organizations, government bodies, and like-minded people to realize the common goal. Finally, let me introduce my team: Kripa Shrestha, Priya Adhikari, Icha Moktang, Vivek Raj Shrestha, Akash Pandey, and thank you everyone.
Thank you so much, Anshuji. Another interesting presentation. I would like to open the floor for questions. If anybody has any questions, please you can ask. हामीलाई पाँचवटा प्रेजेन्टेसन हामीले हिजो र आज गरेर हेऱ्यौँ। एस्तर बुढा मगरले चाहिँ नि कान्तिपुर एकाडेमी अफ हेल्थ साइन्सबाट बायोडाइभर्सिटी इन्भाइरोमेन्टल स्टेटस एन्ड सस्टेनेबिलिटी इन नेपाल ड्युरिङ कोभिड-19 रिभ्यू आर्टिकलमा प्रस्तुति गर्नुभएको थियो भने रुबिना कार्कीले ब्राक युनिभर्सिटी ढाका बङ्गलादेशबाट इम्प्याक्ट अफ कोभिड-19 अन कलेज एटेन्डिङ युथ अफ नेपालमा प्रेजेन्टेसन गर्नुभएको थियो। साथै मुना भट्टराईजीले आज एग्रिकल्चर एन्ड फरेस्ट्री युनिभर्सिटीबाट कम्पेरिटिभ स्टडी अफ द रोल्स प्लेड बाई मार्जिनलाइज एन्ड नन मार्जिनल ग्रुप इन कम्युनिटी फरेस्ट म्यानेजमेन्टमा प्रेजेन्टेसन गर्नुभएको थियो भने आयुष गौतमजीले एग्रिकल्चर एन्ड फरेस्ट युनिभर्सिटीबाट केमिकल प्रपर्टिज अफ सोइल अन द डिफ्रेन्ट ल्यान्ड युजेसमा प्रस्तुति गर्नुभएको थियो। र लास्ट बट नट द लिस्ट संस्कृत पौडेलजीले काठमाडौँ युनिभर्सिटीबाट अन्डरस्ट्यान्डिङ अर्बन कम्पोस्टिङ बिहेभियर इन काठमाडौँ एन्ड बिल्डिङ स्मार्ट composting system ma presentation garnubhayeko थियो. So if anybody has any queries on these 5 presentations or would like to ask the presenters, the floor is open. I will wait for the questions if you have. Our हाम्रो यो 5 presentations are being judged by our panel of judges. As I mentioned earlier, our judges are Mr. Prakash Chandra Aryal from Golden Gate International College. He is a noted zoologist. And our another judge is Mr. Balmukunda Pokhrel. He is an environmentalist, and Nabin Gopal Vaidya from Wildlife Conservation Nepal. So is there any question somebody would like to ask? Okay, we have one question from Deepa Karki ji. To the 5th presenter, I think it's for Sanskrit Paudel. Deepa Karkiji asks, what was the response rate of your survey? How did you get consent from the respondent? Sanskrit, if you are here, can you answer this question? Yes.
I would like to answer this question in Nepali.
Sure, yeah.
Okay. हामीले चाहिँ around 300 पिपल्सहरुमा चाहिँ सर्कुलेट गरेको थियौं यो फर्महरु हैन। उहाँहरुलाई चाहिँ हामीले चाहिँ अब टेक्निकल
I think we lost Sanskrit. So if I may take the question.
Also,
I'm from
you're from the team, Vivekji?
Yeah, ma'am.
Also,
Yeah, ma'am.
sure.
So yeah, we share the questions in mostly in the online platforms, mostly from the Twitter, Facebook, emails, and the response rate was quite good. I think like to all the people we send, they mostly fill the form. Like we couldn't see like गरेको मध्ये कतिजना भर्यो भनेर थाहा त भएन, तर पनि like there was 310 respondents. And regarding the consent, we asked in the very beginning, like we have a form where we ask, like we send them a consent form, and if they agree to go next and accept the survey, that's kind of like agreement towards the consent. Yeah, I hope that answered your question.
Also, thank you, Vivek. Okay, there's another question from Chandramani Aryal sir. I think this is also for Sanskrit. The smell produced is one major hindering factor to participate in composting behavior. How would your technology address that issue?
So I think I can take the question as well. I think Sanskrit is not here. So yeah, that's one of the very key important, the factor that the people who were in composting kind of perceived. अनि it's as well के भन्छ स्मेल पनि एउटा kind of problem रहेछ. अनि this technology isn't planned for that at the moment, but we are looking how we can do that in future. And for now, I think we have we are looking at like a different alternative, like there's something called Bokasi and something called like EM, which kind of help to reduce the smell. And on my personal experience as well, it's helpful to reduce the smell in great extent. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Vivek. We will wait for a few more minutes for questions if there are any. Okay, since we have no questions, or maybe the questions are coming, or I will forward the question to the respective presenters and maybe we can gather some answers later. But now I would like to end day 2 of the conference Youth for Smart Solution 3, and I would like to thank all the participants for participating, and I will see you tomorrow sharp 9:45 a.m. Thank you so much. Thank you.